It happened without warning. One ordinary morning, the entire world woke up to an impossible reality. Money still existed, but nobody wanted it anymore. People could still hold cash in their hands. Bank accounts still showed billions of dollars. Credit cards still worked perfectly. But every payment was rejected by a simple answer: no thank you. At first, everyone believed it was just a temporary glitch. Banks assured people that everything would soon return to normal. Governments urged citizens to stay calm. Stock markets crashed within hours. The richest people on earth watched their fortunes become meaningless. A billionaire entered a grocery store carrying stacks of cash. He offered $1 million for a loaf of bread. The baker smiled politely and quietly shook his head. I'd rather have someone help me fix my oven. For the first time in history, money could buy absolutely nothing. The world wasn't running out of wealth. It was running out of belief. And without belief, even the most valuable piece of paper became completely worthless. By the end of the first week, the world had completely changed. Supermarket shelves were no longer filled by delivery companies. They were filled by neighbors helping neighbors. Truck drivers no longer asked for money. They asked for food, tools, or help repairing their homes. Restaurants stopped accepting payments. Instead, customers washed dishes or cooked meals in return. Barbers no longer charged for haircuts. Many accepted fresh vegetables, homemade bread, or simple acts of kindness. Doctors refused money from their patients. They simply asked people to help someone else when they had the chance. Teachers continued teaching without receiving salaries because knowledge had become more valuable than wealth. People who had once been ignored, farmers, mechanics, plumbers, electricians, suddenly became the most respected people in society. Meanwhile, luxury brands stood completely empty. Nobody needed expensive watches or designer bags anymore. A loaf of bread was now worth more than a diamond. A repaired roof was worth more than a sports car. For the first time, people stopped asking, "How much does it cost?" and started asking, "How can I help?" As the months passed, humanity created a new kind of wealth. It couldn't be printed, it couldn't be stolen, and no bank could store it. People began earning something far more valuable: trust. The more you helped others, the more people trusted you. A trusted person could always find food. A trusted person could always find shelter. A trusted person was never truly alone. But those who cheated others quickly lost everyone's trust. Without trust, nobody wanted to work with them. Nobody wanted to trade with them. Nobody wanted to help them. For the first time in history, your reputation became your wallet. Your kindness became your investment. Your skills became your income. And your word became more valuable than all the money the world had ever printed. Not everyone welcomed the new world. One billionaire refused to believe money had truly lost its power. For decades, he had measured success by the size of his fortune. He owned private islands, luxury cars, skyscrapers, and billions sitting in his bank accounts. But now, none of it could feed him. None of it could repair a broken roof. None of it could grow a single tomato. For the first time in his life, he needed other people. He offered gold to a farmer for a basket of vegetables. The farmer smiled politely and handed the gold back. "I don't need gold. Can you help me harvest my fields?" The billionaire stood in silence. He had never planted a seed. He had never fixed a machine. He had never built anything with his own hands. In that moment, he realized he had spent his entire life collecting wealth, but never becoming valuable. As the years passed, people stopped asking one simple question: "How much do you own?" Instead, they asked, "How many people would help you if you needed them?" That answer became the true measure of wealth. A lonely millionaire could have nothing, while a poor farmer surrounded by friends had everything. Communities became stronger than corporations. Neighbors shared tools instead of buying new ones. Families cooked together instead of eating alone. Children grew up watching adults help strangers without expecting anything in return. Acts of kindness spread from one person to another, like ripples across a quiet lake. The main character realized something remarkable. Every favor returned to him in unexpected ways. Every hour spent helping someone eventually came back when he needed help himself. No one kept score anymore. Because generosity was no longer an investment, it had become a way of life. People were still becoming richer, just not with money. They were becoming rich in people who truly cared about them. But not everyone accepted the new world. Some people still wanted more than everyone else. If money couldn't buy power, they would simply invent a new way to control people. A group of traders gathered in secret. They began collecting food, medicine, and tools, not to use them, but to create scarcity. Soon, entire neighborhoods couldn't find basic supplies. The traders offered to help, but only if people gave them unfair favors in return. For a short time, their plan worked. Fear spread through the city once again. Then something unexpected happened. People stopped competing. They started sharing everything they had. One family shared food, another shared medicine. Mechanics repaired broken equipment for free. Farmers opened their barns. Doctors treated everyone who needed help. Within days, the traders had nothing left to control, because greed always loses when an entire community stands together. 20 years passed. Children born after the collapse of money had never used cash. Many of them had never even seen a bank. To them, money was just a strange story from the past. Teachers tried to explain how the old world worked. People once spent their entire lives chasing pieces of paper. The children couldn't understand. Why didn't they just help each other? No one in the classroom had an answer. The main character had grown older. His hair had turned gray, but he smiled more than ever before. He owned very little, yet he never felt poor. His home was always full of friends. His table was always surrounded by family. Whenever something broke, someone was always there to help. Looking back, he realized something incredible. The richest people in the old world had often been the loneliest, but in this new world, the richest person was the one who was loved the most. One evening, the old man sat quietly on his porch, watching the sunset. A little boy walked up to him with a question. "Is it true that people used to be rich?" The old man smiled. "Yes, they were." The boy looked around the peaceful village. "Then why did they give it all up?" The old man remained silent for a moment. Then he picked up an old paper bill from a small wooden box. He placed it gently into the boy's hand. "This used to buy almost anything." The boy examined the faded banknote with curiosity. "It doesn't look very special." The old man smiled again. "It never was." People only believed it was. He looked toward the village. Neighbors were laughing together. Children were playing in the streets. Families were sharing food around long tables. Friends were helping one another without expecting anything in return. The old man quietly whispered, "This is the greatest fortune humanity has ever owned." If this story made you think, leave a like and subscribe for more unforgettable stories. See you in the next one.